familiar? You won't have to look far this weekend to find the traditional Easter egg hunt. Many of us grew up in families where the first order of business on Easter Sunday morning was the search for those elusive eggs. To kids, the candy, colored eggs, and the Easter bunny may be the most important factors this weekend. But here in the buckle of the Bible Belt, this is also a very important weekend of religious holidays. Two very separate and distinct holidays for two separate religions. Here's a look now at how Christians celebrate Easter and the Ozarks Jewish community gets ready for Passover. For Christians, Easter is a time to celebrate the resurrection of Christ, an event on which Christianity is based. Traditionally, sunrise services help commemorate the event. But many times, concerts, cantatas, and musical dramas like El Shaddai here at Central Assembly also revolve around the holiday. While Christians celebrate Easter, a much smaller Jewish community here in the Ozarks is observing Passover. We stopped by while they were setting up for Seder, their community meal during which the story of the ancient Israelites' exodus from Egypt is told. It's a holiday that celebrates freedom, historically the freedom Israelite slaves gained from Egypt. Philosophically, Passover stands for much more, according to Rabbi Rita Sherwin.
The whole holiday of Passover, which in Hebrew is called Pesach, which is the Hebrew word name for it, is grounded in this story, in the book of Exodus. So it's a Jewish, it's grounded in, it's specifically grounded in our scriptures. But it also has, I think, a universal message because it's about freedom. And one of my favorite teachings about Passover, and this is something that we recite when we do the Seder, is that until all peoples in the world are free, nobody is free.
Passover and Easter, two separate holidays, two separate religions, but with at least one thing in common, they both offer a message of hope. Dr. Stan Burgess is here to enlighten us a little more on our religious history. Dr. Burgess, thank you for coming today. First off, why do we have these two holidays at the same time if they're so separate?
Traditionally, Jesus died and was resurrected during the Passover season. In fact, it is said in the Gospels that he actually died at the very moment that the paschal lambs were being sacrificed on the Temple Mount.
That leads me to my next question. I was talking to Rabbi Rita about this. There's a big difference between that first Passover and how Passover is celebrated today.
Absolutely, because there's no longer sacrifice within the Jewish tradition. Once the temple was destroyed in CE or AD 70, sacrifices of that type ceased. And so you might have a bone on a plate on the table, but no lamb.
Right. Tell us how Easter began.
Well, Easter, of course, begins with the first moment when people recognized Jesus had risen and became a tradition called the Lord's Day from the earliest moments. But in the early days, Christians also celebrated, Jewish Christians also celebrated Passover and connected the two. Saw the Easter as the second Exodus, the second moment of freedom, this time freedom from death.
Right.
We've been talking about death as our freedom from death.
Absolutely.
And also freedom from a world of evil.
Another commonality.
Yes.
Well, you had mentioned that Lent, we got our Lent from the Jewish religion, Judaism?
Well, actually, the Lent took about 3 centuries to evolve. And eventually, Lent became preparatory to baptism, which was the standard practice at Easter Sunday morning. So instead of going to Easter Sunday morning service, 6 o'clock, you would typically go to a baptismal service on Easter.
How does that compare to what Judaism and Passover?
Well, again, once again, the whole notion is freedom. Freedom from the past, freedom from what binds you, freedom from what holds you back, freedom from that inevitable thing called death, freedom.
So that, you could say, is, but we're celebrating both Easter and Passover.
Exactly.
Dr. Stan Burgess, thank you very much. And if you'd like to learn more about religious history, Dr. Burgess teaches at SMSU. Well, whether you're celebrating Passover or Easter or something else this weekend, we hope it's a good one. Let's look now at what's ahead for us weather-wise. Tom Dye has the forecast after this.